Welcome to Clixed Off, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafé.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, Alex Coos, and Tyler Spees.
Hey everybody, welcome to Clixed Off today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everybody know that Clixed Off is brought to you by TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Find HeroClix new and old on TrollandToad.com and use coupon code CLIXEDOFF for 5% off your HeroClix order. If you like what you're listening to today on Clixed Off, check us out, patreon.com/ClixedOff. And $1 and above gets entered into our monthly giveaways. $5 and above gets entered into our Discord server for HeroClix strategy and tactics discussion. So, I'm trying to get logged into HC Units right now. That's why I said YouTube. It verified me through my YouTube app. Joining me today is Jason Alvey.
Okay, yeah, I missed that one there. Okay,
yeah. That's what sound the monkeys make.
Big monkey go smash.
Yep. And also joining me today is Alex. Assembled, we are strong. Coos.
Hey. I don't know what the Assembled We Are Strong is a reference to, but
Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes.
Avengers.
Oh.
Always we will fight as one.
Man,
until the battle's won. What?
That's what he's gotta get caught up on the Marvel animation.
Yeah, that was an old school one. That's where we got ID cards from. The thing that you put your head in from Avengers or Age of Ultron, Avengers Assemble, all of Nick Fury. It was the Age of Ultron OP thing where you put your head in. Do you remember that, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
So you could become an ID card.
Oh yeah, I was confused by what you meant. Put your head in. I was like,
you put your you put your head in and you could take a picture with it and you became an ID card. That was their communicators from Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was their ID card. So.
Yeah, that was like good 10, 12 years ago now.
Yeah, it was like 08. I think it was like 08, 09 when that came out.
Was it that far back? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think now you're gonna make me look. But yeah, no, it's always a good Earth's Mightiest Heroes episodes. 2010, I think, is what the initial thing here on Wikipedia is telling me. It ran through from 2010 through 2012.
Okay, well that's close. It's my favorite Avengers cartoon for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you ever need to be hyped up, just Google the intro to that one. I won't play it because I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Yeah. There's all kinds of good Marvel animation. You got enough kids, Alex. You ought to be checking this stuff out.
I mean, I've been watching the X-Men 97.
Right. Well, X-Men 97 is fantastic too. I mean,
with how popular it is, it won't surprise me if eventually we got. Well, I guess they've been doing like newer Avenger cartoons, but I know a lot of people are saying, "Hey, when is Spider-Man coming back?" Like,
it's just all the same universe.
Yeah. Though I've heard so many different theories about universes, so who knows? Like, it is the same universe, but I've heard some interesting ones about X-Men 97.
Oh wow! So. Phil Lamar was the voice for Jarvis in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But he was on like Mad TV, right?
Yeah. So he was in Pulp Fiction, Biodome, Spider-Man 2. He's in Real Steel. He's a tenured. Yeah, I was just looking at the voice actors for that show, and he stuck out to me.
Yeah.
They had a lot of...
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Mark Hamill was Claw in that
Mark
show?
Hamill's done a lot of voiceover stuff over the years.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know that. What is he... who does he voice in Invincible?
Mark Hamill? Oh, I don't know if he does an Invincible. He was the Joker in Batman the Animated Series.
He does Art Rosenbaum. I don't know who that is from the show off the top of my head.
Art.
I don't know the Invincible universe that well. I'm going to Google it here real quick.
Well, Art. That's one of the guys in the the kind of Shield type agency, right?
Oh yeah. He's the I think he's the Nick Fury from that, isn't he?
No.
Art Rosenbaum is a suit tailor who is the designer of some of the costume used by the heroes in Invincible.
Okay.
Interesting. Wow. Anyways, so our typical go sideways instead of focusing on what we need to focus on. So if you listen to that's why y'all love us. If you listen to the last episode, I did tell y'all that we lost our Super Rare and Above review. We are going to attempt to quickly do our Super Rare and Above review of Marvel Next Phase, and then talk about our Adepticon experiences. So, without further ado, El Aguilia. I don't even say that. My bad, y'all. Alex, I will let you get this out of the way. You have played this set. Do you feel better about Obamastay Mindfulness?
You're kind of stealing a little bit of mine. Yes, a little bit.
Well, you said it at the beginning of the show. I'm just asking if you felt better about it. You could say you fucking hate it more. I don't know.
I said that before we started the show.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked you the question. Because if not, if you didn't say that beforehand, I was going to be like, El Aguila sucks ass. Let's go. But I'm giving you an opportunity.
He does. That part hasn't changed. But having played in a lot of VRs and stuff. At Adepticon, I have a lot more experience with these pieces. And the Obamastay stuff isn't as terrible as I thought it was. I used to think, this is the world's most pointless trait. But now I feel like, I could see the point. Being able to move tokens around has some pretty decent uses. But it's not meta-worthy because the pieces aren't meta-worthy. If the pieces were better, then I'd be like, yeah, sure, it's a cool trait. But the pieces themselves are not good. So,
right.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, El Aguila is interesting, but he's slow and pretty easy to take out. So,
yeah, okay. I just want to give you just mentioned it. I just wanted to give you a chance to speak your piece so that when we talk about Man Bull, we can be like, he sucks. And then we can talk about Miss Marvel, who's overcosted. Then we can talk about Elsa Bloodstone. Who do we think will be played?
Wait. Hold on.
Did you see how quickly I did all of that? We got to Elsa Bloodstone really quickly.
Yeah, but you know what? Even though our listeners know that we have the lost episode, that doesn't mean we need to shortchange them and be like, listen, because this is the second time we're recording it. This episode's going to be super short for the the last bit of it. Man Bull, yes, is garbage. Miss Marvel, yes, is most likely overcosted. She does some interesting things, but having traded Impervious is neat. Giant Reach 4, being able to target characters, improve targeting characters and elevated.
Yeah, having traded Impervious and traded Toughness.
Yeah, baby. You outwit one. Well, too bad. I got the other. You're probably outwitting the Impervious, but
yeah.
Which we still don't have erratas for this, right?
No.
Well,
it's been out a week now, so
it's been out longer than that.
No,
just over a week.
It was
a week and a half.
It was a week and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it should have been Wednesday.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it should have been Wednesday, but we're past that now. So
Yeah, they're probably behind because of the con.
they're
I
probably.
thought you said the Kong. Like they were just playing King Kong too much, and they're like, "Oh crap, we've got to put out this the Iranas." Whoops. Oopsie. Forget it. We'll get it after Easter. Let's go back to playing Kong.
Hey, I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so, anyways, all of that to say, is Elsa Bloodstone playable?
So the non-prime Elsa Bloodstone is... So she has the trait, other characters can't be healed. She's 75 and 40. You're probably... Well, she's got 2 stop clicks at 75, 1 at 40. The stop click just has regen and willpower, so not a great stop click. Marksman, martial artist, mystical warrior, mystics, TA. The trait is probably why you're trying to play her, because of the whole other characters can't be healed.
The trait's definitely why you're trying to play her. But if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be looking at her.
Yeah, because she does help you against surfers. She helps you against MOE swaps. There's a lot of things that heal nowadays.
Black shirt Scott Porter.
Right, yeah, a ton of healing. So just being able to say other characters can't be healed is great. It's also detrimental to your team because it's other characters, not opposing characters. So I think she could see a place, especially if MOEs continue or, everyone's still playing Black Shirt Porter. If healing is still big, I could see her at 40 points because that's a decent 40-point dial. Like a stop click, 4 clicks, a stop click, running shot, pulse wave.
I feel like she's just super squish.
She's just super squish because,
Kong just wrecks her.
Yeah, you know what? So you guys may be upset, right? Or at least people may be tired of me saying, does it pass the Spider-Man Prime test? Does it pass the Silver Surfer test? Well, here's a new one for you, as Jason alluded to. Does it die to a Kong Quake? And
right.
Elsa Bloodstone does. Probably.
If you don't hit your super senses.
Yeah, if she's adjacent, and she's within 3 or 2, I guess, of a blocking terrain or whatever.
Yeah.
Or elevation change, right? So she's super hard to protect. So.
Yeah, I think the key thing we need to keep in mind with, does she die to a Kong? We also need to keep in mind of, I don't want to just say certain pieces are garbage because they get quaked for 3 and knocked back and die. You can obviously play around that a little bit, right? You could prepare yourself a little bit better. Have her circled by characters or something. I don't know. But, I don't want to fall into the trap of, oh, she's terrible because of that.
I'm not saying she's terrible.
We're not saying it's
a weakness.
I'm not saying she's terrible because of that. She will be played. She is good. But she's harder than shit to play. And that probably makes her bad. If you have to constantly fucking fiddle around with your pieces because you don't know, you can't just group them up, right? The easiest thing to do, right? Think Prime Wonder Woman. Well, all my pieces stay next to the 19 defend. That's easy. That's repeatable. If you're like, well, all right, I gotta make sure Elsa Bloodstone here doesn't go against the 8th Kong of the day. Oh man, oh my gosh. All right, then it's just fucking, you can't, it's just harder shit to do. And very few players can do it. If you're if you're like, oh man, Isaac AB can really play Elsa because Isaac AB is a really good player, then he is one of the best of all time. That makes Elsa Bloodstone playable for 5 people in all of HeroClix.
Right, so I wouldn't say she's bad. She just has a high skill requirement.
Yeah, so she's playable for 5 to 10 people.
That doesn't make her bad though. It's inherently a good figure if you can make it.
That means
if you're practicing, it doesn't also have to be you're a high skill player. If you practice enough with her, you would it's not a pick up and play figure. I guess is what
I get that. And we tend to like those kind of figures here. Like you just pick up and play, and it's pretty straightforward, right?
I don't know. You were a player that consistently supports and talks about repeated practice, and you were
I agree,
one who gets like that's a little counter to what you're saying.
It is. Practice does help a lot. It's not really counter. I'm saying that you can't practice enough with Elsa Bloodstone to be good, to have her like be a really good counter. That's my problem with her.
I disagree with you can't practice with her enough, but
either
way, she's a good character.
I'm not a super fan of her dial at 40 points either. Like
40 points, 4 clicks with a stock click is. I think it's
she's a 17 defense. And she has sidestep, not running shot.
Okay, well, let's keep in mind, even a 19 defense doesn't mean crap nowadays. So that would because everyone's rolling 14s and 15s.
Well, I'd rather have a 17. It does make a difference.
It does. The defense does matter, as you'll know, as y'all will soon hear when we talk about Adepticon.
Either way,
reduced runner stop click.
Either way, she's a piece you just got to keep in mind. Like it's just if the meta continues to go in this direction of obnoxious healing.
You know what it does? Tell me though, more so than anything, take your Black Lanterns and put them in the trash can.
I mean, that was the case before her, so
I know. I mean, you can still put them there.
People felt that way before then, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, the Prime. So, I've thought about the Prime more since our Lost episode. She's probably playable.
Are you just ending it there? Yeah. You could just end it right there.
I don't know if you're pausing or you're going to say more.
I think I was going to try to say more.
She's probably playable. All right, moving on.
Yeah, I think
she's also super squish, but
yeah. Right. The problem is like, and the Adepticon results prove otherwise here. There was only 2 sets of MOE in top 8 at Adepticon.
Yeah.
So, and I know Alex, you have your theory of, the new hotness versus the old hotness, and people want to try new stuff. And
it's the beta, it's the alpha and the beta.
Right. So
alpha is the new hotness, beta is still great, but no one wants to play it.
The problem is like you should still have an unequipped attacker, even though Lucas's team that won proves otherwise. I don't know. It's like
there's a lot of equipment going around.
Yeah. So
a lot.
I mean, if you assume that Elsa's only going to take one at a time from, equipped characters, then she's really good. But if something just doesn't have that, then she just dies. AKA, at 30 points, she fails the contest. Without even being...
If you don't hit your super senses.
We don't rely on the rollouts around here.
Yes, we do. 100, we have to in today's meta, yes.
I know.
I would say today's meta, if you look at it from high level, it is 100% do you hit your rollouts or not? Because the point values the point values work. The numbers you're comparing are so much higher than they used to be. It feels like, at least.
Yeah, I get that.
And most of my matches at Adepticon were, did I hit my rollouts? Did they hit their rollouts?
Yeah. Yes, that was a lot.
But if you fail your super senses, Elsa just gets yeeted by Kong.
If they're not equipped, yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, that's the same for she's 30 points, so it's different than the other Elsa. 10 less points.
She does a lot more than the other Elsa does.
Yeah. I think she's fine because 30 points is around a porter, right? Like 5 points more, whatever. Porters get yeeted too. for the most part.
This is also true.
Now, I'm not comparing her in the sense of like, oh, she's as good as a porter. I'm just saying 30 points. I mean, I'm going to take that gamble.
I like what she does.
Yeah.
I just like what she does. Yeah. And she also is more mobile, and she has stealth, which is not nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the two traded movement powers. That's really good. You know, maybe she's a little bit better in silver. When I do expect there to be a little bit more equipment. Would really love to see Elsa like rocking a gauntlet for free that she stole.
Yeah,
I should say.
Her just being able to equip one of your other characters just that fast is also really nice.
Yeah,
and just a free attack, like you said in silver. Especially, you're probably getting that free attack off because there's probably someone equipped in silver.
Yeah, and she also has precision strike. It's just not that many characters out there have precision strike right now.
Yeah, her kit's just very solid. Yeah, you have to. You have to think about it smartly. Yes, it is a prime slot, like so. It's not just an easy plug and play.
Well, I don't really think there's a lot of competitiveness for the prime slot at the moment.
So she's got marksman, martial artist, mystical warrior. So mystical's probably the biggest spot she would compete with.
Well, she also has warrior, so she could become an X-Man, right? Mystical monster brute warrior, right? So I mean, she competes with those. But I mean, there's really just a few primes that are currently playable at the moment. So.
But in today's meta, like Jason was saying, like precision strike is huge because there's so much. Everyone's relying on super senses a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Everyone's trying to give out Spider-Man or Wonder Woman TA to their super sense people to just give more super senses. Mm-hmm. And so just having precision strike is just so nice.
Yeah, it is.
So I like her. I think she's great. Like I think. She might see more play when MOEs retire, sure. I think she could be very viable in silver. Because obviously you've got figures that, everyone's got 2 rings, or you've got, Legacy Thanos, or everyone's equipped in Silver Age. Like they still abide by the whole MOE thing, right? But not as much as you probably do in Modern.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
All right. Moving along. Werewolf by Night. Meh. Scarlet Scarab. Not as cool as the Scarab.
So Werewolf by Night, I'm trying not to speed through these because this isn't our tier maker. This is our going through figures. Werewolf by Night is interesting, but doesn't do enough. At 50 points, having a stop click is interesting. And the other guy turns into him, right? Jack could turn into him if he's... Well, we don't know yet because we assume his stop click is on click 6, but for Jack Russell. But I would say Werewolf by Night is a step above the Abominate figures for sure. Like I think he is a cool super rare that does cool things, but it's just not quite there for meta purposes. Like that's how I view it. So like I don't want to like poo-poo it and be like, oh, this is a terrible super rare. It's like, no, we have other ones like Manbull and whatnot. This one,
no, he's better than that for sure.
Yeah, like this is he's giving me the vibes I'm getting. Is you remember Alopex from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Unplugged? Like it was a cool super rare that did cool things, but it wasn't very good. Like that's what he is to me. Like he's neat. He does some neat things. He's just not amazing.
All right, Scott, you want to say anything about Scarlet Scarab?
Once again, a lot of these super rares have stop clicks, so you just have to keep that in mind because stop clicks are a thing and useful, but no, probably not. free if she has the sideline active trait. Friendly characters named Layla, blah blah, have free if this character's on click 5, replace her. But I don't think Layla was bad, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Click 5 is a stock click. It's 50 points. She is a herald. She gives you perplex outwit, but 50 points is a little too much. So, yeah,
60
math.
60 points.
No, Layla is 50.
Oh, Layla's 50. Okay.
Yeah, it's just you play 50, and then when Layla gets her stop click, she can free action replace and play a Scarlet Scarab on at her 60 point, and the avatar carries over, which is that part's neat too. I like that they added that in, but once again, it's a solid super rare, but it's just not good enough for competitive.
Yeah, rank shot, pulse wave, probs. Okay.
A-bomb.
He's really tall.
Yeah, you get your booster and you feel it very heavy, and you're like, oh, it's probably this guy. And 9 times out of 10 it is. The establishing theme team, and they get the Abominate keyword and the Abominate mindfulness trait is interesting, but not good enough because his dial stinks at 65, and you're definitely not playing him at 100. So,
all right, the best super rare in the super rare set, which only gets better after Stopstein goes away. Wong. Oh, Wongy dongers.
Yeah, Wong's got Avengers, Celebrity, Martial Artist, Mystical. He's got a trait. If Wong is adjacent to exactly one opposing character, neither is adjacent to any other character. Other characters can't be moved or placed adjacent to either of them and can't target either of them. So it's like the Spider Hammer Eye trait. He's the reason why everyone loves him, including myself, is he's got a special movement power, phasing teleport, plasticity. When Wong uses phasing teleport, after resolutions, he can use Flurry as free. And then he's 75 points. He's 8 clicks. He's got a special stop click. He's just got a stop click and click 8 with Super Sense's toughness. When this click is first revealed, immediately place Wong up to 3 squares away from his current square. Sweet.
Which means that he probably doesn't get KO'd from a flurry. But knockback really hurts him because that would still apply depending on positioning. But this guy with a Bucky arm or a power gem in silver is super awesome.
Yeah, he's got a special damage power, exploit, prob, and giant reach 2. Mm-hmm. What is the timing with that? With the damage and then the knockback?
It's when it's it's immediately revealed. So as soon as it's revealed, so it doesn't say when it's revealed from anything, right? So normally it says when it's revealed from an attack or something like that. I mean, stop happens from an attack anyways, so like if you're doing like the in-cap damage or the mind control damage from those tarot cards, it wouldn't stop. You don't stop, but you would reveal it. It's interesting because you won't stop there if it was, say, from the mind control card, but it still does get revealed, and you would still get placed, and you would still potentially just get KO'd. It's just interesting. It's an interesting interaction there. Stop happens from attack damage. So the assumption is that you would get stopped. You'd get a shot to there or punched or whatever. And then you would get revealed. You would stop. And then you could get placed 3 squares away, which means that the knockback damage would then occur. Which means you could potentially avoid the knockback damage from the KO for the KO.
He does have toughness on his stock click too.
Oh, yeah. I'm just in general, Jason. Just the timing of that.
Okay.
That is interesting, though. It's just an interesting interaction.
Yeah. So, like, it's funny that if he was to get some dealt like, I don't know, 2 penetrating poison damage on like click 7, he would still be able to Voop, but then he would be KO'd. So because it still gets revealed. You just don't stop. It's an additional // beyond the stop key phrase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
and he's got a bunch of precision strike, which is awesome.
Yeah.
His kit is just incredibly good.
Yeah. I would be surprised if we do. I would be surprised if we don't see Wong at Cup with a Power Gem or a Bucky Arm and the Joker Gas.
So the only thing I'd say to that is, yeah, you're probably right. He definitely will be there. It's the whole, your 50 points is definitely taken, so I guess he could fit in the other 150 points that's available for Modern, for Silver Age, because you only get 200 points to build with Silver Age, and that fills up very quickly.
It does, but I mean, there's a lot of great mystical pieces. There's a lot of great celebrity pieces. There's a lot of great Avengers pieces in Silver. I mean, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing there that you're going to be sad about to play for those other 200 points, or minimum of 200 points. But yeah, I mean, Joker's Gas. To be clear, it modifies attack and damage +1 at the negative of a -2 defense. But, so like, Power Gem on that guy would make him 13 for 5. Joker Gas makes him 14 for 6 on a flurry with Precision Strike and Battle Fury, which is insane. Assuming you don't have to face any Killmongers, which is something I don't guess you have to worry about facing anymore, according to the Adepticon results.
Well, no, I would take that with a grain of salt.
I know, I'm being a little facetious there, folks, but yeah, Wong's got his dong. He's really freaking good.
Yep, that he is.
Assuming you're not concerned about stop signs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty big one. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the stop sign is that big of a deal, but like, just your standard enclosed map and a stop sign stops Wong dead in his tracks. Nothing to do about it.
But after that, his stock just goes up.
Yep. After that retires Modern, he is amazing. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Porcupine. Alex,
Yeah.
anything you would like to say about, or Jason, was there anything else you wanted to say about Wongy Dongy?
No, I love Wong. So, yeah.
Alex, anything you want to say about Porcupine?
He is not the worst super rare. I think Man Bull is probably the worst super rare.
Okay.
That's the only thing I'll say about him.
Got
Because
it.
there's a long time we were sitting there looking at him like, this is by far the worst one ever made. And it's not. He's not nearly as bad. But he's still not great. But he's not as bad as I originally thought. That's all.
Okay.
Man Thing. So we do have the Jennifer Kale Man Thing interaction. That could be a thing. But in general, like,
Created Charge Invincible Steel Energy's kind of cool. Like, the fact that that's all traded. But yeah, no, he's like, he has a little booping thing, sort of, but
yeah, he's super. I don't know, like, part of me wants to like him because of the boopy thing. And he's got super strength, and he's got 4 damage exploit.
Yeah, it's not bad. He just falls into the same category, I think, of like he's mid.
Yeah,
he's just like Werewolf by Night, Scarlet Scarab. Like, that's a cool dial, does some cool things. But
I would say this:
it's not good enough.
Probably the best Man Thing that's ever been made.
Was White Lantern Man Thing?
Really?
That's Swamp Thing. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, gosh, Alex, do you even read a comic book? Cool.
No, I had to
That's DC.
Oh, golly,
Yeah, for
golly.
real.
Fucking these meta nerds. Gosh.
Yeah, probably he's the best one.
Yeah.
He's basically Swamp Thing, though. Let's all be real here.
I wish his poison was penetrating.
At this point, I wish almost every poison was penetrating.
Well, that's true, but I mean, that's kind of his thing. You know, his whole, the touch, it burns you. He should just have like poison they can put off at any time and be penetrating. That would be cool.
Or some sort of like after resolutions fire marker sort of thing.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. All right, Man-Thing Prime. Jump scare.
So 125 points, 75 points. He's got a trade, sidestep, steal energy. His special movement power, jump scare, is
Jump
stealth.
scare.
Once per turn, we need to get that clip and put it on our soundboard for whenever something scares us. It's just Dan saying jump scare. Once per turn, when the second action token is placed on an opposing character after resolutions, you may place Man-Thing adjacent to that character. So that's kind of interesting. But that means you're placing them like on their turn.
Yeah.
Which is a little spooky. Because all he has on the special damage or defense power is toughness, willpower, and then Man-Thing takes a maximum of 1 damage from characters with a lower point value than him. Actually, that's not bad, because at 75 points, that's what, like most of the meta.
Right, yeah. You know what it doesn't have, though? Traded outwit. Any outwit protection.
Yeah, sure.
So, boop him over, get it outwitted, get him yeeted. I don't think he's a playable Prime.
Yeah, no, probably not. You're not playing him at 125. He's a giant, so you can't really equip him with anything.
Can't easily equip him, right? And
sure.
Yeah.
So, no. He's neat, though. I would say, to take back what you just said, I think he is a better Man-Thing than the other Man-Thing.
I like the first Man-Thing. It feels like that Man-Thing, the non-Prime, is harder to KO in general, is more reflective of Man-Thing moving through the earth or the plants and stuff. Like how I would see the Man-Thing kind of being like, woo, and like then smacking the shit out of an opposing character. I definitely like his 19 defense. His 19 defense with combat reflexes better.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, maybe if you gave me that Man-Thing Prime with power, cosmic energy, something like that, and then put them both together, maybe.
Okay.
Kate Bishop.
I actually like this Kate Bishop now.
I do too. Yeah.
Because one, I didn't get to play her. I played against her in some BRs.
I played her in a BR, and you know what they did to me? They based her.
I played her in a BR, and we had the Baron Zemo chase. So that meant she was like moving a lot. Because her whole thing, her trait, she has a trait where if she equips a trick arrow equipment, she can get an additional card. That remains to be seen how good it is. I assume it's great, but we haven't really played with trick arrows much. Other trait, if Kate Bishop has not been moved or placed this turn, she has improved targeting, elevated hindering and characters, and modify her range +2. So that makes her an 8 range. That's great in today's world. And then she has a special attack power, precision strike, and then range, have range, make 2 ranged attacks. So I would take her to a 3. If she hasn't been moved or placed, that would make her a 5 range and just make 2 attacks. That's solid. Like, it's not as great as Hawkeye and Hawkeye, who just makes 2 attacks, but it's still good. Like, I still think she's a perfectly fine, and she's got team player. She's only 65 points. I think she's fine. Like I don't think I have any complaints about her. I think she's a good super rare. She may be like borderline how good she is, of whether she actually cracks the meta. I think I'm leaning more no, she won't. But
Right.
once rotation happens, maybe she's a little better.
Ooh.
Maybe. But who knows?
So I was wrong when I talked about Wong. I forgot about Titania being the best super rare in the set.
Yeah,
because
people don't know how much we talked about Titania before.
We did. They do not know because even us here on the show, we're often quick to jump to conclusions instead of just waiting for the sets to correct themselves. If you're worried about Agatha in silver, if you're worried about Scott Porter's, if you think that Scott Porter is too overtuned, either one of them, black shirt or white shirt. If you're worried about, I don't know, the Wong and Madison being too much, Steve Chase, all these other characters with celebrity keyword, they just don't get powers.
Yep. So she has 3 traits. First one, at the beginning of the game, give each opposing character with a celebrity keyword a copyright claim token. When Titania hits with a close attack, she gives each hit character a copyright claim token. Next trait, opposing characters with the copyright claim tokens can't use standard powers not displayed on their dial. Titania takes a maximum of 1 damage from characters with a copyright claim token. Last trait, friendly characters that are less points to Titania modify attack +1. She is 75 points, so that's probably your whole team. When an opposing character hits Titania after resolutions, remove any copyright claim tokens from that character.
Yep.
She's 75 points, 6 clicks long, approved movement.
You know who also has celebrity?
Yep.
Wong. You know who
I
isn't?
thought for a second you were going to say Kong. Doesn't Kong? Does not, right?
I think he does.
For a hot second, I was like, wait.
Kong has celebrity, yeah. But guess what?
Yeah.
It's only his Quake and his Super Strength that he doesn't have. So, you know what? He can't, yeah, it's it's not bad. And then you knock him to his stop click and he doesn't have Impervious anymore. So,
yep.
Right. If you're worried about getting flurried by a Wong, if you're worried about getting punched by a Kong, play Titania.
She doesn't pass the Silver Surfer test, though.
You know what?
That's just the Kong test, though.
So, you know what? I think the only thing that she really needs is some way to get a free attack. So, maybe you swap some, trick arrows onto her or something. I don't know. Something way to give her a free attack. Because if she can get an attack off on Surfer, which she's reasonably able to do that. I mean, if she can punch a Surfer somehow, she's 13 for 4, right? I mean, that's reasonable odds. Surfer, she then passes the Surfer test.
Right.
It's more likely in silver because you have Waldo arms to give you that free attack.
Right.
Or you have whichever one is the free in cap. Isn't there one that gives you free in cap?
Waldo arms give you free in cap, and the Wonder Woman's lasso does as well.
Oh, so you got 2 methods on Waldo arms to get a free attack.
Yeah, Waldo arms give you free. The 1-2 option is just +1 attack and defense, I think.
Yeah, as much as we were making fun of her, because
I'm
point
not.
cost is a little high. I think
her point cost is a little high, but she's your answer. Is Daniel Powell going to play her? Probably not. If you're tired of playing against Kong, Wong, and Scott Porter, that's 100. That's 175 points on a team together. Just nerf the 175 points of the team right there. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I don't hate her.
No, she's not bad.
And then, the thing is that Silver temporarily retired band benched Sicarian Iron Man and Scarlet Witch they might as well just bring them back off the bench. Because old Titania says Sakari and Iron Man didn't get to do shit.
Yeah, I'm in the wheelhouse now where this is a little off. No, I think Saki could probably come off the list. I could see them keeping Scarlet Witch on there, but I could see Saki coming off the list because I don't know if he does enough. Like he's still really good.
Can you imagine a world where we just said that? And I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I just think there's so much out there that he just gets yeeted. So many free attacks that just
Sakari and Iron Man kind of sucks ass. You heard it here first.
No, I wouldn't say that. But if they keep the cloak off of him, like you don't get the cloak, you have to spend 15 for a bike.
Well, the cloak's not benched.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. I keep thinking it is for some reason. It's just not.
It's not.
The only person playing it was Sarkarian Iron Man.
Yeah, cloak's still in.
I guess that's it.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to our good chases. Emit.
Nice.
Yep.
Give me a hell yeah!
I like this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are real high on Emit all of a sudden.
I love Emit. I thought he was great.
Nothing wrong with Emit. It's all of a sudden it's like we need Emit. Give it to us.
Yeah. So Emit's really good. Keep in mind, Poison Still Energy. You've got a lot of great users of that. Your close combat characters that would normally equip the Black Symbiote, aka Prime Spider-Man. Really, really, really.
I like Khan plus Emit plus Cathan. That's really good.
Yep. It is a fantastic combo. I mean, is there really much else to say, right? I mean, we're not playing these characters on the main force, right? It's just on the avatar, right?
Yeah, no. So Emit, its avatar gives Poison Steel Energy.
I said
I don't
that.
know if we said that.
I
couldn't remember if you said that.
Right, because you were so high on life from listening to all of those soundboard clips.
Yeah, still reeling from that a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he's fantastic. And keep in mind, we're saying this about the third weakest of the avatars.
I think it just depends on who they're putting them on. You know?
Well, I think just weighing the standard powers that they give.
I mean, Khonshu is like the most widely good because it got Prob.
Yeah, Prob is really good, right? So the Khonshu's up next.
But also their value goes up and down based on who you're putting them on.
I agree. I agree, Jason. But just saying, like, if you just stack rank them in a vacuum.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
That's it, right? Like, yes, Kong would rather probably have Emit over Khonshu. But like 10 points for Prob, right? We're just gonna
or no points.
Well, let's just assume we're paying 10 points, right? I mean, obviously, Surfers, Black Lanterns, BTU, Ring Bearers. Means they don't get to use the ring, but Scott Porter, all these great things have the Herald keyword. I was actually going to look real quick. Kong is not a Herald, which is interesting.
Thank goodness.
What? Thank goodness. What?
Yeah, could you? I don't want him to be a Herald.
Yeah,
he's already good enough.
Yeah,
he's already good enough.
Is he though?
What would he be a Herald of?
These nuts.
Animals.
Those are both not solid answers.
That was I wasn't even trying for a D's nuts joke there, Alex. That was the first thing that came to mind.
King of the Apes, man. This is good man.
Yeah, King of the Apes, baby. But I do like Legacy Green Lantern at 20 points, just having a 10 range. Prob or Outwit from Tarret. I'm just going through Heralds real quick. Anything in silver. I'm just looking at anything.
I'm Batman, Carnage Surfer. Those are the only things in modern that are particularly great.
Yeah, I was just looking at
free.
silver. I mean, chip in silver is a really good one. Star Sapphire. The big giant Owatu, giving him outwit on top of his prob. I kind of like that. What's the did the Watcher from? Yeah, the Watcher from Disney Plus, the one that doesn't die very easily. He's also a Herald. I really like it on him too.
I'd like Necron with some of these on him if he wasn't just sucking because also Bloodstone exists now.
Yeah, that's fair. But so Khonshu's probably your most powerful in a vacuum. Stealth and Prob are really huge. And then Tauret. Alex, do you think you wanted to say on Khonshu?
No, they're all solid.
Yeah.
So,
Tauret gives out support and outwit. Outwit, obviously, generally a high-costed power to just being able to give out that for 10 points. Support, low-key slaps. Let's not, forget how powerful support can be now that it's just a power action roll a single d6 with no adjacency requirement.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
That
When I say no adjacency requirement, I mean not adjacent to opposing characters like it used to be.
So the biggest thing with Tauret is that she does enable Black Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just gives Black Lanterns now support.
Yep.
Whereas before you were having to rely on like some Porter shenanigans or equipping with a ring, Indigo, or is it the Indigo ring?
Yeah.
Whereas that costs points, like maybe you didn't want necessarily to do that. This is just free for them because they all have Herald. So,
yep.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, in the Chthon plus a mitt, just good on anybody that's going to be like a close attacker.
Yeah, anybody that's mystical, right, should be looking to emit in Chthon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even old Wongy Dongers.
I mean, why does that have to be mystical?
Because that's who.
Because Chthon has to be mystical, right?
Chthon
has
to be mystical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that gives Wong his +1 stats from close combat expert.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's either that or Chthon plus the equipment. You can do Chthon in the equipment. So,
yeah.
But all right, Baby Groot. We talked about Groots in our CUR review. She-Hulk coming through the TV.
Yeah, so to remind you, because this is a separate episode, we do not like the Groots.
Yeah. Short of giving Baby Groot the Carter shield in silver with Demon and Armor on a Latveria team.
Yeah.
That's so. Yep. So that would require MOE, Doom Chases, Demon and Armor, MOE equipped with the Carter shield to swap out to give the tiny Baby Groot defend. Now your team has a 20 defense. They cannot raise their attack value. Go to town. Charlie Brown.
Seems solid.
It is. I think so.
So back to She-Hulk coming out of the TV. 100 points, 55 points. She's got a trait, super strength, prop control. The first time She-Hulk would be KO'd, turn her to click 8, and roll d6, healer half to the result. If she is at 100, instead healer equal to the result. After resolutions, you may generate a Hulk bystander, protect pulse wave. He's just a charge piece, charge super strength, Pog. Then she's got a special movement power, charge flurry. When she makes a close attack, walls don't prevent adjacency to her target, and after resolutions, destroy any blocking terrain that would have otherwise prevented adjacency. And then a special damage power, outwit. When an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire would use outwit, probability, control, or perplex, roll d6. 4 through 6, the use of that power has no effect.
And that's with what? Within 4?
Yes.
Within 4.
She is very easy to kill, unfortunately, because she's only
4
got
clicks.
4 clicks with invulnerable. Now, she has the whole first time she would die, so she's got like a pseudo stop click. So she's not super easy to KO, but we've seen that in the past where that's just typically not good enough at times.
Right.
Especially not for 55 points. But
Yeah, and her specials are only on her first click, unfortunately.
yeah, so you'd have to roll a 6. A 5 or 6. Yeah, 5 or 6 to get her back up to that click. So yeah, it's okay.
All right. Baron Zemo.
So I don't hate Baron Zemo. A lot of people seem to hate on him. I think he's kind of interesting. So he has 2 traits. At the beginning of each player's turn, that player may move a character friendly to them up to 2 squares. Characters can't make range attacks if they haven't moved this turn. The other trait, Baron Zemo, doesn't require opposing characters to break away from him. And then he's got a special movement power the whole dial when Baron Zemo moves. If he ends his movement in the same square he began in, after resolutions, give an action token to each opposing character he moved through that move. 40 points, super senses, shape change. He ignores characters for movement purposes. It's neat.
Yeah, it's nothing, something nobody else does.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's unique enough
I think so.
where you need to think about it. But 40 is kind of a lot for that. It gives me Elijah Snow kind of vibes. Like someone that does something unique with movement, like just you're moving a lot, but it's most likely not good enough. So
Somebody might figure out something crazy with it.
yeah.
Maybe.
Jack and Elsa.
Yep. No. Nothing too exciting there. Anything you want to talk about there, Alex?
This character has been damaged this turn. So the only thing I would want to mention is that trait. Jack and Elsa and adjacent friendly characters have, if this character has been damaged this turn, they take a maximum of 1 damage from attacks. 75 points. We have ways of damaging our own characters. We have a terrain that does it. So I would only say, like, put that in the back of your head. It's something interesting. Probably not super viable, but, you know, it's interesting. Like, it once again, it gives vibes of Chase Batman from BTU, the one that's like, you only take 1 damage from close attacks or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little bit to activate him. Well, it says if this character's been damaged this turn. So I guess that wouldn't work because it's your opponent's turn. So the pool of lava wouldn't work.
Right.
If I'm thinking right.
Yeah.
So, meh.
So you just kind of ignore them. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve.
He does interesting stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like Steve. Like, I don't mind him. 40 points, got a trait, Rogers the Musical. At the end of your turn, if 2 or more friendly characters moved and hit this turn, give Steve a choreography token. Cool. Steve and friendly characters within range can use the following effects based on the number of his choreography tokens. His range is 6. 1 and above, sidestep. 2 and above, this character automatically breaks away. 3 and above probability control. 4 and above, safeguard, outwit, and pulse wave. He's got another trait, willpower. The first time Steve would be KO'd, instead turn him to click 5, then roll d6, heal him half the result. So a pseudo stop click on... Well, he's got a stop click and a pseudo. Wow, this guy is kind of hard to KO, right? He doesn't have any defensive powers except for stop click on click 3. He can't be healed above this click. So, like, you knock him to stop click, then you have to deal him 3 more, then he comes back, and then you have to hit him again. So he takes at least 3 hits to KO, outside of, like, doing knockback damage and all that stuff.
Yeah, knockback or poison or that sort of thing. Yeah, he does. 40 points, 3 hits, not bad.
Yeah, I think if you can, find a decent way to your characters just two at the end of your turn, if 2 or more friendly characters moved and hit. I mean, I guess the question is, what's the likelihood of friendly characters moving and hitting?
Well, I mean, it's probably not that bad.
I mean, it accounts for running shot, sidestep, charge, hypersonic, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to be doing anyway.
Playing with Baron Zemo.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't mind them.
All right, Kate and Lucky.
Kate and Lucky has not much going for them. They go around the pizza object a lot. At the beginning of your turn, if there are no pizza objects on the map, roll a d6. An opponent chooses an unoccupied square up to a number of squares away from Kate and Lucky equal to the result. Generate a pizza object in the chosen square. That's neat. Another trait, free make an attack, but only to target an opposing character that pick up or destroy a pizza object since your last turn. So your character could your opponent could just ignore that and just never touch those objects.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this figure.
Yeah.
It's neat, but it's not that great.
Yeah, the whole shape change, another special damage power shape change when they use it, if they're holding a pizza object, increase the result by +2, and if they succeed, destroy the pizza object. I mean, that's not bad. Like, that seems fine.
Yeah, they're just not very offensive.
Yeah, there's no movement attack.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
You know who doesn't care about them having shape change?
Kong.
Here. Hulk and She-Hulk.
Hulk and She-Hulk. No, I don't have anything to say about them.
Their trade is neat, but they're 100 points.
Yeah, that's really all you need to say about them, because they can be outwitted.
Yep.
And that's all that matters. They can just be outwitted and yeeted.
Mm-hmm. Wong and Maddie.
So this one's a little better. Better, obviously, when the fire hydrant goes away, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest detriment to them now. So 60 points. Trait at the beginning of your turn, you may choose any dark blue or light blue powers. So there's a lot of good ones with those. Wong and Madison can use those powers until you choose again. Another trait at the beginning of the game, generate a couch hindering terrain marker within 4 squares of your starting area. Characters occupying the couch marker can use prob control and safeguard opposing prob. And then they have a special defense power, their whole dial. Toughness, if Wong and Madison occupy the couch marker, they take a maximum of 1 damage from attacks, and the couch marker has indestructible and immobile, protected outwit.
So on their trait, do they have to pick 2 dark blue or 2 light blue, or can they get one of each?
And it says any. Yeah.
You need 2
They can get
dark blue, or
they can get one of each.
Okay.
Yeah. They're neat. 60 points, TK, sidestep, perplex, and then they choose those powers. Like, there's nothing bad there. Good keyword: celebrity, martial arts, mystical. Like, sure. Like, seems fine. I guess that's the word for it. Seems fine.
Yeah, I mean they're a support piece.
Yeah.
It's decently hard to kill, but they're also 60 points.
Yeah.
Yep. Very true.
So we got the big ol' only 4 known to exist at the time of this recording.
Kevin doesn't exist in enough quantities to matter. So
the question becomes for Silver, is Kevin game-breaking enough for someone to find out who owns one of the 4 to play it for Rock Cup? The answer is no.
No.
The answer is no.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Yeah. But he does shoot through everything. He does.
Well, everyone's about to be able to do that, so.
Ooh, whoa, spoilers, Alex. Spoilers. All right, She-Hulk, the lawyer, She-Hulk, going into the play-at-home kits. Nothing. She's got 8 clicks for 60 points. That's nothing.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, but besides that, she doesn't do anything worth 6 points.
Yeah, Yelena.
60 points.
Nothing too great there. The Madison.
Madison's interesting. So
yeah,
this
so
is
she's
the
got
one.
Traded Perplex. When Madison uses it, gives a friendly character an action token. If you can't use Perplex and has no effect. That sounds good. That's totally fine. Action tokens can go to Pogs or whatever.
She can give it to herself also.
Yeah. If a character's finalized attack roll would be a critical hit, it's a hit instead. If a character's finalized attack roll would be a critical miss, it's a miss instead.
She has CSA for Perplex, basically, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
And that finalized attack roll is neat. Because it's 4 characters and opposing characters, so it kind of balances it out. But crit hits are a big thing. I mean, star cards still not bad.
Yeah, she's got potential. I think she's fine.
Yeah, she's 25 points. No problem there. She does pass. She does pass the Kong test if you hit your super senses.
So does that keep your critical hits on your super senses pieces and still lets them roll out?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does because it would be a critical hit. It's a hit instead, so they don't become hit. It's just a hit.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Baby Groot with his team up, probably not.
No, definitely not with the team up. He's okay. He just falls into the rest of the shifting focus, which remains to be seen how good that is.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty. Adepticon.
Well, wait. Did we?
Nope.
Did we already talk?
Did I miss something? The map.
No, the Kate Bishop. Did we talk about her yet? This is the good Kate Bishop, right? Once per turn, when Kate Bishop is carried after resolution, she can make
hold
a
on.
attack.
Sorry, my bad, y'all. My scroller wasn't scrolling.
Just Pizza Box Kate.
Yeah, so it's Pizza Box Kate. Sorry, my scroller wasn't scrolling. So
no, it's fine. All the rest of them are great. She's the only borderline playable one because once again, special attack power in the first 3 clicks. She's 50 points for 7 clicks. That's pretty good. Once per turn, when Kate Bishop is carried, after resolution, she may make a ranged attack as if she occupied any square the character carrying her moved through. She's got a special damage power on her last 4 clicks, so that won't matter. So just being able to be carried and then making a ranged attack from wherever she was moved through, that's got some Hawkeye potential.
Yeah.
Well, can you just give her the bike, give her a running shot, let her running shot up next to somebody else, and then carry her and make another attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone that could just make an attack and that's good in Silver Age as well. If you play her on the Foot Elite team, right? Foot Elites run over there, they make a bunch of free attacks. She's going to be carried over there. They all have enhancements. So she'll be hitting 12 for 6 for free, with an Avengers TA, and she ignores characters.
Avengers Initiative.
Initiative for improved targeting hindering, and then improved targeting hindering characters and adjacent. So
yeah,
I like her definitely in silver for that purpose.
Right.
But
you know what disappoints me is that they just add that once per turn.
That is let's be real here. That's probably necessary.
It is, but could you imagine this? You carry her, she attacks. You sidestep, she attacks. you peel out with the motorcycle, she attacks.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be way
Yeah, I'm just imagining all the sidestepping, all the underworld TA also, where you're just like, all right, let's carry her around. Boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
She's like, she literally would be kind of like how Kate Bishop is, like a poor man's Hawkeye.
That sounds really fun.
Like, instead of doing where the old Hawkeye would running shot himself and around, she has to be carried around, but she's still doing all those attacks.
Yeah.
Like, that actually would be pretty funny. But it's probably good that they did not do that.
And she gets a free trigger arrow.
Yeah.
Which is a marksman.
Yeah. All right. Maps. Are we going to just skip the rest of the pizza box and go to maps?
Yeah, I don't think any of these are really.
Lucky's not worth a crap. I don't know.
Yeah, he could generate a pizza object. So that's probably the only one that you're kind of like maybe, because pizza object, once again, is just anyone holding the object can free, destroy it, and heal. But we already have a lot of healing, so.
I mean, her
probably not.
Her team up card's not horrible. If she gets that power where she can. Characters can't use shape change or evade attack.
Oh, you're talking about Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she destroyed a pizza object this turn, yeah, that actually is really good. I didn't see that.
The problem is she loses that,
her other power.
She loses that ability to be carried and make attacks.
Yeah, why do they got to do that? Why do they got to keep making like, we got a decent character, but don't worry, we got this cool team up, and it erases all the cool powers you wanted to use on the character. Here's some bad ones.
I mean, she can still like running shot with a bike on her and still do that. I mean,
sure.
Yeah. All right. So the courtroom kind of sucks. Obama Stay Yurt is really great because of the elevated.
I like Obama Stay Yurt.
Yeah, Kate's apartment reminds me of Harley's apartment quite a bit. And then the new awesome sauce map, the Bloodstone Maze from Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, why did they make this map? I think everyone is wondering.
It is outdoor, so that's the thing.
So it's like Hedge Maze.
Yeah, which is a map that we all loved and adored.
Yeah. Oh, the Yurt's indoor and outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I've mentioned this before, like, the caveat of them being 16 by 16 is you don't have to deal with all the crazy, like, this is asymmetrical, so I don't get a benefit. Now you have to look at like all four sides of the map and decide, is this the better side? Is this not the better side? And that's decisions you have to make on the fly too, because if you're not super familiar of everything that's out there, you just have to keep that in mind, because that is, pretty important.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodstone Maze could potentially just stop Kong.
It's hard to place him in several places.
Yeah, it is. And that's without even like adding more barrier to the situation. So, Bloodstone Maze, pick that one up. That was in the release day kit, right, Jason?
That was the release day kit, yeah.
Yeah, which is the harder one of the ones to get. So, just keep that in mind. Are we ready to talk about Adepticon now?
I suppose.
So, we do need to mention, are any of these, they only have 3 of them out here, right? But there's all these bystanders that you can pay for.
And we don't even know what their powers all do, so...
Yeah, we're missing some data, so... But I know there was the She-Hulk that was kind of interesting, so...
She's got
just keep an eye out.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the other ones do with their powers and stuff.
Yeah, but those, I believe, only come in the chase booster thing. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
All right.
Just kind of just like Kevin.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Adepticon. I will start out with saying the con was one of the best conventions I've ever gone to.
It was definitely cool. It was neat seeing all of the Warhammer and BattleTech and all that, and everyone, not everyone, but seeing like wine bottles and people just generally having a good time.
Yeah, drinking was allowed at the event.
Yeah, it made me realize, hey, you know, I haven't done that. I mean, it's not something I'm particularly interested in, but it's cool, like, to be able to just have a good time with buddies and just, like, you wouldn't do that in a high... I mean, I guess maybe that's just the vibe, right? Of just like, yeah, we don't mind doing this in a high-level competition because...
Mm-hmm. I guess, I don't know, other than playing Clix, I was totally bored with it.
With the Adepticon?
Mm-hmm.
You were bored?
Yeah. None of that other stuff interests me to do that. Like,
yeah, you don't drink, so I can see that.
I don't drink a lot, and then I'm just not into. I'm just not going to play those games. I just don't paint and assemble miniatures. They look cool, but I'm not going to do any of that. And the dealer hall is not particularly large, so yeah, I don't know.
But there were plenty of opportunities to play in BRs. I mean, even if you didn't sign up, you were able to get into some too.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't enough of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was the biggest negative, I think, is just they were limited to how many they could have, and it honestly sucked for a lot of people that either you bowed out at some point, or I was able to sneak into some that I played in like 3 or 4, but
I got to play one. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it sucked that there was a limit.
You only get to play one BR, Jason?
Yeah, I only got to play one. Because they were sold out when we got there. So I was getting to the last one, and that was it. And then we played all day Saturday, and then they were already sold out before the tournament was even over. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
So it makes sense that Jason would have a little bit more of a negative Adepticon vibe. If we were, like... Kudos to the guys that were able to sit there and like play BRs the whole time, because I did have fun in the BR that I played.
Yeah,
yeah, I did too. I just didn't get to do enough of it.
Yeah,
But they were talking about how the Adepticon event runner was excited how busy they were. So it was their first year there, so they will get more. Space next year. It's one that they plan on going back to. So
yeah, and hopefully that's better.
Yeah.
If I couldn't get in the BR and I just had a really bad couple games or whatever in the tournament, I would have had nothing to do like the rest of the day. It would suck.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I guess you need to take up drinking, Jason.
I don't know about all that. I have my every now and then, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So, but I think the event overall was good. We had a good hotel, and I appreciate Jason driving. So
yeah, I also don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah, no, I thought about that when I got home. I was like, I'm flying next time. I'm not going to deal with any of that. I mean, I had a great time.
I will probably try to get to go next year. I will probably try to fly and stay in a hotel on site,
or see if there's like a train.
There's a train. There would be a train. Yeah,
that's okay too, because that's just, at least entertaining.
Or just standard ground transport's fine too, but.
Like, that seems fine to me, because that's at least... Like, we could play HeroClix games on a train together. Like, that sounds fun. But, like, sitting in a car, it's like, well... I know a train would be a lot slower. Like, I get that. Right. But it's at least something. So, I don't know. I'm mostly saying that for Jason, because I know Jason doesn't like flying, so... An alternative would be, hey, let's go take a train.
I mean, it'd be fun to do. Never been on one. All right, try it one time.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So I want to quickly just go. I know we got a lot to talk about because we've gotten some new Iconics previews and that sort of thing. So I did want to talk a little bit about what we played and where we ended up, and we can talk about each of our rounds pretty quickly here. So I can start. Y'all can start. Who wants to start?
Well, before we start, just a reminder, it was like 47 players.
47 players, cut to top 8. We played six
rounds of Swiss.
Yep.
Which 6 rounds was great, in my opinion. I thought it was great on the staff there to make the decision of, 5 probably would have been underwhelming. At least 6 makes it interesting. So kudos to them for making that move. We've seen at conventions before where they don't, and that's where a lot of the complaints came up. Where like, why are we have so many players? Why are we only like doing 4 rounds or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So good on them for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So who wants to start out with the round 1 and what they played? We're just going to talk. We don't have to go round by round. We can talk about the score, how it ended up. And what we played against just a little bit.
I'll go. Me, Az, and Tyler all played the same team. It was a Kong team. It was Kong Silver Surfer, Black Skull, Mephisto, Carnage, Colossal Carnage, Daredevil, and Scott Porters. We didn't equip anything, except Black Skull had a black symbiote in case we just wanted it. Main thing to do was to play on the Batcave map. First round, my dice were just on fire. The guy was playing the Spider-Man symbiote team, like Alex Mater plays. I just lit him up because I couldn't miss.
Do you remember who it was you played, Jason? I'm just looking for you. You played Ryan Bookwood. Yeah, you went 295 to 0 on him.
Yeah. The dice were just totally in my favor on that game.
Okay.
I think I played Sean Buttle. I think on round 2 he had.
Well, I was going to go round each round. We go round table each round.
Oh, so. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. So Alex, you're up.
I was still trying to pull it up. I played Matthew Prignano.
Yeah, you played. What team did you play?
Oh yeah, so my team was. I just turned away from the page. Smart.
Defenders?
All right. Yeah, I'm here. It's Defenders. It was Ghost Rider at 70 with Bucky's Arm and Chthon, Arachnite at 60, 2 Carnage Silver Surfers, both Scott Porters, and then Prime Hulk without an equipment. The team worked very well, surprisingly well. I had some matchups that weren't great, but in this matchup, unfortunately, I don't remember what he was playing off the top of my head. But I won 245 to 85. So I don't remember off the top of my head of this matchup, unfortunately. So sorry, Matt, if you are listening. I've slept a lot since then. But I won it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll remember shortly what it was.
That's fine. So I played the Cosmic Double Carnage Silver Surfer team that I have been playing for a while. That's 2 Carnage Silver Surfers, Hope Summers, MOE, and 2 Porters with Prime Batman. No equips this turn. From Florida, I went ahead and took the equip off the second Surfer. I added Chthon to White Shirt Porter, and I took off Scrappy for Thor Chase. My round 1 was against Denny Bobbledeck from Michigan. He played all the MOE chases with the Thor team up and Miss Marvel Super Rare from MOE from Avengers 60. So he had Masters of Evil team with the Thor team up card and he had the damage bonus from Scott Porter because it was all from the Avengers 60th set. You know what? He didn't have that because did he have that? I don't remember if he had both Porters or not right now. But he said that he didn't. He did, so maybe he didn't have both Porters. Anyways, so I got to do my alpha pretty hard versus Denny's team. We battled back and forth. We only got about 2 turns in with Denny, which was my same experience in Indiana States last year. So pretty low scoring game. I scored 2 MOE chases and his Miss Marvel Super Rare for a 150 to a 50 score. Pretty interesting team. That Thor team up matters a lot, and having access to Hound with Dark Phoenix was a big deal for his team. So the Thor team up says that figures can't reduce their damage below 2, so that pretty much negates Invincible, especially when Thor does his EE. Or does Thor have EE? No, I'm thinking of something else there, but when figures do EE or like Hound rolling for his blades, right, it's a minimum 2, right, so a lot of things are getting through there. So pretty powerful team. Just those MOE chases at 50 are a bit squishy because you just can't have, all Iron Inquisitors out there. So it was a good game, but pretty tight there, pretty low roundage. Round 2.
Real quick.
Oh, you do remember?
Yes, I do now.
Okay.
It was, I believe, a mystical team, and what threw me off about the team is I believe it had very similar to mine and Ghost Rider. It had Jennifer Kale. It had what's her name? Lilith, Prime Lilith. That was the Prime Lilith team I faced. And I remember sitting down looking at his build sheet, and I looked at the main team, and he had a Kong out, and I was very confused about the Kong because it wasn't on his build sheet. And I thought, oh, maybe he picked up a Kong and really wanted it to be look over the team and cheer it on. And then I didn't see his play, which was he sends out Jennifer Kale and Scott Porter. He played Jennifer Kale at her 5 point higher than normal, 35 instead of 30, I believe is what it was, or whatever it is. And he just let her be bait. And when I KO'd her and Porter, he was able to boop Lilith over and pop out a Kong that I immediately scored, which you might be thinking that's bad. Why would you do that? But now there's a Kong in my face that I don't have a desire to kill because I can't score any more points with it. So while I won, because I was able to take out his Ghost Rider and stuff like that, that trick was really neat. I thought the whole, I've got a Kong, I'm able to pop out a 50-point Kong that, sure, you score, but you really don't want to take it out. I really like that, just in general.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat.
All right, so round 2. Jason, go ahead and fill us in on your round 2.
Let's see. Round 2, I played Sean Buttle. He had a Ghost Rider, Brother Voodoo. He had a Arachnite on his team. I forget what else it was. And I wound up winning it 235 to 45. I was able to come over and alpha his team and score a good bit of points. So I forgot to mention we had Blackheart on the team and Chthon on Kong. And he made a mistake and let me swap. He used the Brother Voodoo to deal damage to my Carnage Surfer, which then lets me swap 2 characters anywhere on the map. So I just brought my Carnage Surfer back all the way across the map before he could KO it and just heal it back up. I wound up winning 235 to 45. I don't really remember much other stuff about it at the moment. I couldn't kill the Arachnite. Arachnite had my number all day. I could not down the rack night. He just kept rolling out.
So this was my one loss in Swiss. I played Kenny Minx, and that Prime Wonder Woman just freaking has my number every time. Every time I go into that 19 death end, same thing that happened in Florida. I just missed, right? Like, I just missed. That was it. He was playing Deathstroke. He had a couple of big pulse waves. He killed one of my surfers and my white shirt porter, maybe black shirt, one of the two. That's where he got his 75 points from. I scored 30 from his freaking Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen came out, or Spider-Gwen brought out the Ingwindable Hulk, and I KO'd it too. But that was it. I mean, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn on Deathstroke or Wonder Woman or World's Finest. I tried and tried and missed and missed and missed. And it's not Spider-Gwen, is it? Who am I thinking of? Which spider does the leadership?
Gwen Stacy?
Is it Gwen?
It's Gwen. This is regular old Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was the Gwen that brings out the Ingwindable Hulk. I mean, I was just trying to chip damage at her to be able to bring out, to just try to multi-target something, and eventually I KO'd her and the Ingwindable Hulk, and that was it. Yep. Kinda sucked there on that one, but Kenny had a really good team there with Deathstroke, and he's been playing it quite a while. So
Yeah.
Alex.
So I played Jeremy Toleronic.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing a very similar build to mine, but he was playing the mystical version with, like, I kept facing Ghost Riders all day. Like a lot of Ghost Riders and no MOE. So he did Ghost Rider, Jennifer Kale, Kong, Arachnite, and there was like KC Green Lantern, stuff like that. And he went for he took me to Morlock Tunnels, and he did the whole Amit's Tomb thing to try to score more points. So it was very, very slow at the beginning, right? Like very, very, very slow. And so eventually we got to the point to where we met in the middle of Morlock's Tunnel, and I was able to take out, let's see, I won 80 to 70. So what's also fun is he played Prime Absorbing Man, and Prime Absorbing Man's really good on Morlock Tunnels because those pieces just go through walls. So when you're trying to unite all the pieces, you just place them. You don't move them. So I had to devote sidestepping Porter to keep sidestepping back and moving the piece back because I did not want him to have a Absorbing Man right in my neighborhood to start taking pieces out. But I barely won that one. I took out his Arachnite and KC Green Lantern, and he was able to come over. I had some really good really good tarot card come up. I had the Precision Strike one, which allowed me to take out. Maybe I didn't take out his Arachnite. I took out his Kong. I took out Kong and Casey and Jennifer Kale or something like that. But he was able to take out on the last turn my Arachnite because of the same Precision Strike card. But the only reason I was able to hit him is because for some reason he played the Star, and that really bit him because it was a team where I didn't have bonuses. It was like I needed a 10 or 11 to hit most of the time, and I wouldn't have hit if he didn't have the Star card. That's really what allowed me to win more than anything. So, but I went 2-0 to start, so that's nice.
So Jason is 2-0 at this point. I am 1-1. Alex is 2-0. We go into round 3. Jason, you faced Matt Ventura.
Yeah, I faced Matt Ventura. He had a cool team. He had Arachnite, Blackheart, Kong, the Porters, 2 Daredevils, one with the Muramasa Blade, which I wasn't expecting to see that. Bucky's Arm, and then he had Casey Green Lantern Legacy. He won initiative, wanted to go first. I took him to the Bat Cave. I was expecting him to come across and hit me, right out the gate, but he didn't. And I had to kind of reshuffle my people so I could alpha him. I went across a KO, I think his Porters, and his Casey Green Lantern, and his Blackheart. And a little back and forth. It came down to his Arachnite was able to... he killed something. I can't remember if it was Carnage Surfer or Blackheart. Then he was able to do that little Voop in the middle and make an attack, and he hit my Kong and knocked my Kong off his top click. Or down to his stock click, I guess, actually, what it was. And then it came down pretty much to his Daredevil rolled 6 blades on my Kong, and I couldn't hit the Imperv. He wound up winning by 30 points, 150 to 120.
And then I faced the father-son duo in my round 3. I played Brody Bubbledeck. He was playing Legacy APOC on, Racco X-Men themed team. I was not able to KO his Legacy APOC, but I chewed through a lot of the squishy pieces on his team. I think he had a Daredevil, and what else? Maybe, golly, I forget what all he had, but I was able to start whittling down the team, and he made Pogs. So I had scored some Pogs. I think. He had a Hulk. So I scored the Prime Hulk. And my Surfers were pretty much full dial. He KO'd one of them, but the other one was just at that point fully healed and just going around smacking stuff. So was able to pull out a narrow win. As you noticed for me going through this, I was not just blowing out teams. Everything was very finicky, very much hard to KO. I think I said that several times in the chat to the team. It was like, why in the world is everything so hard to KO? And I was struggling to score points. So, Alex, I see in round 3, not to spoil it here, but you also faced the Kenny Minkster there.
Yeah, he got the best of me in that one. It was a tight matchup for a while. With a lot of stealth, a lot of defend, a lot of hard to KO pieces. It's hard to take, that was how his team was built, to prevent you from, like you said, everyone built about not being able to KO things. Just really hard to kill. I had a really good play where I was able to sneak, to pull the Dan Powell move of sneaking a Scott Porter in there to pulse wave his team, to knock him back. That helped, but didn't do enough. He got, he won 105 to 30. Where the points really came from was he had a very, very choice Deathstroke pulse wave where he rolled the 6 on the blades. And so I wasn't able to, there's nothing you could do about it. That just yeeted a lot of the pieces on my team. Took out my Scott Porters, and that kind of snowballed after that because I couldn't catch back up. But it was a good game. It wasn't it was a very good game.
Yeah.
Very strategic.
Did you only kill the Gwen?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that would be indicative of your 30 points. I don't think anything else on his team was only 30.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably right.
All right, so
that put me at 2-1.
Yep, and that put me at 2-1, and Jason at 2-1. So surprisingly, none of the 3 of us had to play each other. So
yeah.
So I went on to round 4. I'll just start out on round 4. I played Romeo Rodriguez, who was playing an unthemed Kong Sentry with the Ace, the Legacy card Ace, and the Headless Horseman. So
that's spicy.
Yeah, Romeo was a really nice guy to play against. I think he made a couple of tactical errors. He only had small maps and put us on Ultron Layer. And then so I got to go first. His first move was to move Headless Horseman all the way across the map. But he didn't block my TK lines. So I just TK'd out my Surfer and started eating things. Unfortunately, Romeo had made a mistake on his build sheet with Prime Sentry. We asked the judges what to do at that point. Because he paid the points for Sentry Prime, but did not write Sentry Prime on his sideline. The judge, I asked the judges what to do, made no indication about what I wanted them to do, and I was just like, it's because it was unusable, right? If it's not on the sideline, it's not usable, right? I was like, this is not usable. What do you guys want to do? They ruled that he could not use the Sentry Prime going forward, and would have to keep up Sentry at his full 55 points. So I did have to KO the Headless Horseman, the Soldier Supreme, Spider Supreme, and then the Arachnite and something else that came out. At the end of all that, my Surfers were fully healed, just doing what Surfers do. So that was a 300-0 win for me. Jason? So you're Jason now, you're on your back heel here, having to battle back.
Yeah, because once again, reminder: if you got 2 losses, you were very likely out.
There was there was a 50
round 4. I was 2-1. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If you lose one more time, you're out at a 50% chance, right? There's a 50% chance that you're out at 4-2. So you want to win out, right? The goal is to try to win out.
Yeah, I played Jalen Major round 4. He's been dodging me at tournaments for like the last 2 or 3 years. Since we played back at when I played Juggernaut at that time. Anyway, he won initiative, so I took him to the Batcave. He had a bunch of crazy stuff on his team: Arachnite, Ghost Rider, Ghost Surfer. He was using a Mutt's Tomb. He had the Porters. And I went up there, alphaed him, and killed like everything on his team, pretty much except Ghost Rider, Arachnite, and a Daredevil. I was able to get everything but his Arachnite and his Daredevil. Well, the Arachnite, he just couldn't miss a Super Sense roll. Like everything, he just rolled out every time. So I won that one, like 235 or 225 to 135. So I was 3-1 at that point.
And then Alex?
So round 4, I played, after the loss, I played Lorenzo or Emilio Gutierrez. He played an Avengers team, which I was very impressed with. It was and you can see it on HC Units. It was a Hawkeye team with Starbrand, Brother Voodoo, the Ant-Man Legacy that got eroded beforehand, which made it a lot better, and the Porters and Two Gun Kid, which when I saw Two Gun Kid, I was like, yes.
Alex, can I ask you a quick question real quick before you talk about the game? Of course. Were you disappointed you didn't think of Emilio's team yourself? Or at least something darn close to it.
No, I don't think I was mad that I didn't.
Well, let me ask it a different way. If someone, so like, unfortunately, as a team, like I don't think we support your Avengers initiative. as much as
No,
we
you
should.
guys don't support me at all. It's very disappointing.
Right,
No, I'm just kidding.
Just on the Avengers side, I think we struggle with seeing your Avengers initiative there. But
Right.
if someone had presented this team to you versus the team that you played, would you have went with Emilio's team over the one that you played?
I don't know if I would. Not that it was bad, because it beat me. He routed me 300-0. Let me explain what happened in the game, and that might explain why. If I remember correctly, I won the roll, and I just didn't know the matchup well enough. So I chose to go first, not knowing that I should have chose map. Much more so. I think that's how it worked. Or maybe he did win the roll and just chose map. Yeah, I think it was that, because I was like, all right, this guy's going to let me go first. Sweet. Because I don't think I won the roll at all out of my matches. Either way, he took me to the Avengers compound, I believe, which is an outdoor map, a lot of elevated. I should have taken it. Well, it didn't really matter which side I took him to. But basically, the concept of the team is Starbrand does her thing where she takes a power action and she gives Hawkeye and Hawkeye +1 stats. And then probably gives him also RCE, I believe is the other one. And playing against Amelia, he was super cool in that he had these little pogs to show the stat bumps. But really, I told him at one point, I was like, listen, I know that Hawkeye is basically going to have a +3 in all stats at some point. So it's probably a moot point trying to show me, because I know they're going to be ridiculous. And so the concept is just you use the Starbrand to bump stats. You use Perplexes to bump up range. He has Hawkeye and Hawkeye has shield, so obviously there's 2 or 3 team players on the team that can just copy that. Actually, it's just Scott Porter.
Yeah,
so
both Porters.
Well, both Porters. And then Ant-Man makes him a giant. And so it was really effective being able to just TK Hawkeye and Hawkeye out. Gets the running shot 7 with a range of 9. So that's a lot of the map. And then being able to do free, place him in a square of different elevation within range and line of fire. Well, as a giant, you could see basically everything. And a 9 range, he was effectively able to just yeet himself back. And Hawkeye can make 2 attacks. So, yeah, just being able to come over there, triple target everybody, dealing 6 damage. Well, with Precision Strike, I mean, there's not much I could do with that. He also used the shield TA to give more damage. That's how he got the rest of it. So he was just, yeeting Carnage Silver Surfers. I needed 6s on rolls. I couldn't hit him. By the time I got over there, he also played the barrel, I believe. The nifty barrel. And so he did a bunch of barrier and used the barrel, which I had also on my team. And just use that to prevent you from moving through, because it's within 4, I believe. So it was a very good team. I don't know how well it does if you don't get on the map that you want. Like, it's one of those, it's all in on Hawkeye and Hawkeye, and I know he can transition over to Two Gun Kid, who is also a very good alternative. But once again, it's an all in on one figure, and if something happens to Hawkeye and Hawkeye, I mean, that the team doesn't shut down. It's just I don't feel nearly as good. But it was a really cool team. I lost, and I was sad that I lost in the way that I did, because I kept thinking I should have prepared better for this, or seen this coming, or played. I should have chosen map if I had the option. I can't remember. But
right.
Either way, he played a great game. I couldn't do anything. I don't think I even got to make a single attack, because he whittled the team down before I could even get to his area to attack.
Right.
So it was just a bad matchup for me. And yeah, and so at that point I was 2-2, and I knew with the blanking that I got there, and with Kenny's match where I only scored 30, I just dropped at that point, because I knew I wasn't going to have anywhere close to enough points.
Right.
And I was justified in that decision, because I was correct. I had nowhere close to the amount of points, even if I won out the last 2 matches. I wouldn't have been close. So
Right. All right, well, so let's move on to round 5. So Jason and I are still in it. I play Daniel Schwab. He's playing Kong, Arachnite, Ghost Rider, Blackheart. So he takes us to Morlock Tunnels. He does have less characters than me on his Kong. So I played into the curve a little bit, which unfortunately hurt me later in the day. His Kong came over and quaked my team twice. He quaked it first, damaging a bunch of stuff, and then I super sensed out of 1. Then he missed his second quake after all of the rerolls were in play. He was playing Madam Web with Black Shirt Porter, I do believe. Maybe it was White Shirt. It was one of the two. But it wasn't both of them. So he's over on my side of the map. The Hierophant card comes up. That allows me to KO his Kong and basically heal my team back up. But from the pulse waves and the just being able to full range, full movement, hypersonic. I saved my Black Shirt Porter rerolls for his Imperviouses. So I was able to just start healing back up from there. So we had a good back and forth battle in the Morlock Tunnels. He brings over his Ghost Rider. He brings over his Arachnite. I eventually whittle those down. I think I ended up scoring 70 and 60. That would have been 130 and then 50 for the Kong. And no, I did not score one of the Arachnites. I scored Blackheart, Kong, and maybe Ghost Rider. No. Sorry. It was Kong. I KO'd Kong, Blackheart. That was 100. 60 points for Arachnite. 25 points for Black Shirt Porter. And then I think I threw his ring at him as well. That would have been the 195. So he scored 65 points on my team. 40 of that was me KOing my own Hope Summers to KO his Arachnite. So she died from Mystics damage. So, I mean, when you take somebody to a map they have on their build sheet, you know, I was prepared for that matchup. So, tons of barrier, making him quake and power through it all. Really helped out. So, it's good to play Daniel. And then I go into the last round being 4-1. So, Jason?
I got to play George Masu in that round 5. He won initiative and took me to Daily Bugle press room, which I just was not prepared for at all. It's kind of hard for Kong to get around on that map. I KO'd Wonder Woman like one time, I think it was, but of course she came back. I don't know, my dice just kind of crapped out on me. I missed a rollout, so he took out my Kong and my Surfer. So I wasn't doing very well. I managed to eke out like 5 tokens off Daredevils because he had 3 of them. And that was all the points I got. Dice were just not with me at all in that game. So he won 50 to like 255.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So round 6, I go in and play against somebody I was excited to meet in person, Alec Musser, one of our patrons. And we had actually practiced this matchup during his coaching sessions. So Alec, I had a couple of different standard opening plays that I did. But I think Alec made a little bit of a mistake in sending out his Daredevil. So I was able to outwit the Daredevil's super senses and then hyper in and hyper back out and score the 10 points, kind of forcing Alec to move out, which he ended up doing. We just a very close battle. He had some equipment. Killmonger rolls definitely came into play. I ended up KOing his Daredevil, his Ghost Rider, his Arachnite, his Porters maybe, I had scored quite a bit of his team. I think maybe his MOE was the only thing that was about left on his team. No, I got the MOE. I wiped most of Alec's team, unfortunately, for Alec.
You scored 210 that round, it looks like.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what I didn't KO. Maybe it was the Porters. It probably was the Porters and the Mephisto. That sounds about right. And then I scored an object somewhere along the way. But Alec had a really good team. But, when you practice with somebody, right, you have to change up your play style one way or the other, right? And sometimes it's just on the fly, right? Like, HeroClix is sometimes a very reactive game where you go back and forth, right? And if somebody does something different, you have to do something different, right? My opening play just cannot always be send out Porter for a pulse wave, send out Surfer to go shoot something, right? Unless there's a definitive play there to score some points. So I went with the play that scored points in that matchup on the opener and kind of put Alec on his back heel and made him advance up forward. I did get to use Doom Supreme in that matchup. I outwitted his Iron Inquisitor's defense power with that because he had swapped him in and out, so he was no longer on his starting force. So I did get to use Doom Supreme, so that was cool.
That's neat.
Yeah,
that's real neat.
Yeah, first time that had been applicable. Also used the inherent abilities of TK to destroy a terrain with just a regular ranged attack. So because it took 4 damage to KO it and only had 3. But the character, it was Hope, she had TK, so she did cool stuff. She could do cool stuff like that. But that's put me in at a solid 5-1. And then Jason, I think you played the only matchup where we played a teammate. So as a reminder for our listeners, Jason Alvey and I played in the first round of Worlds with 150 some players, and then I played Azareth in round 2 with 20 some undefeateds at a 300 point wipe. And then there was 6 of us in 47 players, and this was the only time a teammate played each other in that matchup. So you guys are both at 2 losses, I believe. So you're battling as best you can here to get in, to squeak into the top 8.
And it was a mirror match because we were playing the same team.
Oh, you played Tyler. We didn't say that out loud.
I played Tyler.
Yeah.
And I won initiative. I decided to go second because I was betting on he was going to do. We had kind of the strategy we talked about using against other Kong teams, and he went out and made a construct, which gave him more characters than me. So I blackhearted over and then ran Kong all the way down the map and then quaked his backside behind his barrier and his Kong. And killed several things, but he was able to hit my Kong twice for like 7 damage, and I just missed my Carnage Surfer, and I didn't have a rollout with Carnage Surfer, and my Kong missed my Imperv. His Kong had Imperved out like 3 times straight. So yeah, it just dice were not in my favor.
Yeah, and unfortunately for you guys being right there at the cusp of things, even if Tyler had wiped you, it was not going to be enough to get him into top 8.
Yeah, I had more points than he did going in to that round.
If you had wiped him, would you have more than Peter? Or a PJ, I guess?
I was really close.
PJ had 1290, so yeah, if you had wiped Tyler, 1290, you had 1085 and only about another 140 points. So that would have put you at 1215-ish.
I'd have been just shy.
Yeah, you'd have been just shy of PJ's performance.
If I could have killed one of those Arachnites all day, damn things just rolled out, I would have had enough points. But
yeah, which I told you should have made you very excited because it's Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So unfortunately, that meant that I was the only one that made it into top 8. I was going to look real quick and see if the Dial H guys put up our match with Josaph and I. I don't think they had it up the other day, so they may not have. They recorded it, but may not have put it up. Nope. So I don't guess they had some. I don't know, maybe they had some technical difficulties or something. So the way that matchup went, unfortunately for me, so it was strategically the time to go, and I just plain old missed. So I had a hanged man surfer, a line of elevated. I had a 14 attack. I was able to target his black shirt porter and his Hawkeye and Hawkeye. I had the 5 damage, so that if I hit, Hawkeye and Hawkeye would have been on click 6 instead of click 4 where they had super senses or something like that. So I needed to roll a 7. I came out, my initial roll is a 6, which means I missed. I did hit the black shirt porter potentially, but the black shirt porter had senses. Hindsight, always 20/20. You always second guess yourself. I probably should have let him try to roll the senses 3 times, right? Because if he misses it, he black shirt porter re-rolls it. Then if he hits it, I black shirt porter re-roll it. That's probably in my favor. But, things happen. You got to try to hit the Hawkeye and Hawkeye. Because if Hawkeye and Hawkeye live, then my surfers are going to go down eventually. We're on Morlock Tunnels, so I can barrier for a long time. But he's going to be able to creep up. I'm going to have to take the shot eventually. And so I roll a 6. That means I need to re-roll it. I re-roll it into an 8. He white shirt porter probs me. I roll a 9. He black shirt porters me into a miss. I black shirt porter myself into a miss. I bring back my surfer. My surfer does not successfully roll 5 shape changes in a row. So it's KO'd. I'm on my back heels. I'd send out the cavalry there to try to come back and win. It didn't work out. Lost to Josapha there playing the team that you can see on HC units: Hawkeye and Hawkeye, World's Finest, Shaggy, the Penguin, Misty Knight, and 2 Scott Porters. So, in thinking back, maybe I should have played it a little closer to the chest, and waited a little bit longer. Maybe sent out a porter for a pulse wave instead. There's 5 or 6 different ways you can think about what I should have done, and but ultimately I made a decision to go out with a hanged man surfer, and he missed an above average roll with the 7. So 14 attack is only so good against a 21 defense. So that would conclude our Adepticon coverage. So, guys, do we want to record again and go over Peacemaker stuff?
Yeah, a different night, probably.
Yeah, we could do... Yeah, we can... There's a lot to cover still.
There is, yeah. So we need to get back to doing that.
Tyler will want to talk about that, too. So.
Yeah, he does. There's a lot of cool stuff in the Peacemaker set. Check that out. Let's roll it around for final thoughts. Final thoughts, Alex.
I had a great time at Adepticon, and next time I'll fly there and enjoy it because it was a great time. And if you were on the fence this time, don't be. You should go next time.
That's right. Jason, final thoughts?
I enjoyed the tournament. I had fun there. Hope you guys enjoy it next year. I won't be there.
Why not?
Because I'm not flying.
Well, flying's not too bad. Well, we got a whole year to work on you to fly in there, so. Or split the driving with me if I don't have a family vacation. That was the big thing. I would have drove, but had the family vacation, so.
Well, I'm not splitting the driving. I just don't want to drive in Illinois. But.
Yeah. It's a hard drive for us to get up there. That was the worst part. But at any rate, it was great to go to Adepticon and see all of y'all, meet some new folks, and as always, thanks for listening to Clixed Off, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.
See you.